Well, let's talk about the press. Why isn't this kind of discussion part of the news? Rarely is it part of the news. This kind of, what do we have here? Why is that?
You know, there's a lot of defensiveness, but you know, in the book and in some of the op-ed pieces that we've written out of the book, we've very directly taken the press to task because there is first of all, there's a natural instinct to say our job is to report both sides of a story. Your job is to report the truth, and the truth may be not two sides to a story, it may be five sides to a story, but often there's one side that is more at fault than the other, or is totally at fault. And that is not something that reporters, but especially editors, want to hear. And I think, you know, if we want to look at the genesis of this, I could go back to the creation of Accuracy in Media, AIM, which was a conservative organization designed to criticize the liberal media every time they tilted in that direction. You know, years later we got FAIR and other organizations. Now you've got multiple interest groups ready to pounce every time they see bias. Reporters, as you know, or journalists, are thin-skinned. They don't like to be criticized for bias. The mainstream press especially hates to be criticized for liberal bias. So the tendency to want to protect your rear, on television now it's you pick somebody from over on the left and pit them against somebody from over on the right, or you pick a spinner from one side against a spinner from the other, and all that emerges is, you know, nobody tells the truth in this business. But all of that has contributed to the problem. And what's been striking is that after we wrote this, we wrote a piece in the Washington Post Outlook section that went absolutely viral, half of it about the failure of the press, to say, hey, you know, look at the Republicans now, that we've gotten a lot of attention, but a lot of the talk shows, Sunday and otherwise, including ones that focus on the press itself, have ignored it completely. It's not whether you bring us on, it's whether you even discuss it, because nobody wants to be out there discussing the fact that it's one side's fault more than the other, because you're going to get hit on by a ton of bricks, and so it's better to just avoid it and hope it goes away.
You could make an argument that one of the great uncovered stories of contemporary American politics is the transformation of the Republican Party. I mean, it's a fascinating story. There have been books written about it. We have a lot to say in our books. Boy, would that make, well, you would get charges of you're just weighing in on the side of their opponents. This is the typical liberal press. So I understand it. I sympathize with what they're up against. But in the end, Norman and I conclude that a sort of a balanced treatment of an unbalanced phenomena ends up distorting reality and effectively demobilizes and disarms the electorate, because they say, they're all implicated, everyone does it, there's nothing we can do.